All right. If you're a fan of Broadway, then you know our next guest. From The Who's Tommy to Hedwig and the Angry Inch to his Tony Award-winning roles in Assassins and Fun Home. He is, as Playbill said, arguably the most versatile leading man on Broadway.
His latest role, this is so good, as the American pastor and televangelist Jerry Falwell in the Elton John scored musical Tammy Faye. It is one of the most anticipated musicals to open on Broadway. Please welcome Tony Award-winning actor Michael Cerveris.
There he is.
We are not going to ask him about his bathroom habits at work.
Bro.
Not appropriate. Bro. Nice to see you, fam.
Come on, fam. I'm going to move my breakfast. Oh, this is a disaster. But this water is fresh from the East River, so good luck.
So, by the way, it is a really big deal to have you here, not just because we're grateful to have you here and we're fans, but it's opening night.
It is opening night, yeah. And so I thought, what better way than to wake up really early for me and come sing songs and talk to you.
Oh, love that. Do you get nervous? I mean, obviously you've been on the stage so many, but it's a new show. Do you get nervous at all?
Yeah, sure. And I mean, some of that's great. It kind of gives you that little extra bit of energy, and hopefully it's not so much that it like distracts you or confuses you. But we've been doing previews now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, so we're kind of in the routine of the show now, although things were changing a lot during previews. But I think we feel really solid, and we're just really excited to open now.
I just learned that, with all my Broadway experience, that previews are just as much about getting out the jitters and figuring things out as sometimes whole acts will change, scenes will change.
Especially
is that a drag for you?
With a new musical. It's not a drag, it's all exciting, and every bit is kind of refining it and making it better. But it is a big challenge because you're going out, like one of the last few previews, I was going out singing a new first third of a song, like my big song. They changed the lyrics, the whole first third of it. And it's a song that I've sung at that point by like 50 times. So now I have to like remember different words in front of an audience, having done it like once in the afternoon. So that's kind of nerve-wracking. So, you know, opening night is kind of easy.
They're just like us.
And I would imagine during previews you start to figure out what's working, what's not. Do you have things you thought, oh, this is going to be great, and the audience just doesn't respond, so you have to adapt?
Yeah, that kind of thing happens, or even just figuring out where the audience is following the story and when they're not, or where what's confusing, or what's, you know, where they drift off a little bit. And so that's the whole thing of previews. It's still rehearsing in front of an audience essentially, but you're getting so much feedback from people, and sometimes it's literally them asking people afterwards, and sometimes it's just like, was that a good silence after that, or a silence like we need to address that?
There was a, oh God.
And so, some of which is appropriate in Tammy Faye.
Of course, of course. So for folks who are not familiar with the story of Tammy Faye and her husband, Jim Bakker, I mean, no easy feat here. No,
they, I mean, I grew up knowing who they were. I grew up in West Virginia, and so, you know, definite Bible Belt kind of area. And at that time, there weren't so many channels, so like that was what was on a lot of the time. So the PTL and the 700 Club and all of those programs were on, but they were just kind of like the background to me. They were these odd, cartoony kind of figures, and then
like this, we're showing there she is in all her mascaraed glory.
And as I've learned a lot in doing the show and doing research and stuff, she was a remarkable woman, and really in the center of this religious right organization was always sort of speaking out and putting herself on the line too, to support the LGBTQ community. And she had a gay pastor with AIDS on her program at a time when that was just not a thing you would do. So I think that was what sort of drew Elton and Jake to the story. And it's really fascinating because in so many ways it's the beginning of so much of what we're facing now as a country. It was the beginning of the religious right finding its way into politics. The separation of church and state started to get blurred for the first time, and the idea of putting religion into people's homes via television. So, you know, it was this story encompasses so many things, and then also it's just like, you know, a crazy big Broadway camp musical.
Right. You know. You played Jerry Falwell, who was not a fan. who was not a fan. How did you research that role? Did you speak to his son? How did you prep?
I didn't speak to his son. I read his biography and his wife's biography of him, and then several other books about the religious right, so trying to get every perspective on it. But then at a certain point, you sort of store all of that and then throw it all away, because some of it is related to what you're doing, and some of it's just sort of interesting background stuff. I did find things though, like I learned that he had founded this university, Liberty University, and he had a ring that he always wore from Liberty University. So I tracked that down, and the props department got that, and I got the Bible that he endorsed and marketed. So I carry one of those on stage, and I have this Jesus First pin that he wore all the time. So those little details kind of just, the audience probably can't see half of it from the side, the scale of the beautiful Palace Theater.
But and it's there.
I know it's there, and it's like the
kind
real
of grounding,
thing.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think so too. So you're going to stay with us because you, in addition to all of this business, you sing.
Because I don't have enough to do.
Because you have nothing on your dance card. Yeah. Tell us about Loose Cattle.
Loose Cattle is...
great name, by the way.
Thank you. It's a band that my bandmate Kimberly Kay, who you're going to meet in a minute, we started about 10 or 11 years ago in New York originally, and it's an Americana band. I've been doing music as long as I've been acting, so I basically, being on Broadway is my day job to pay for my musical addiction. But we just put this new record out, and we're playing at Joe's Pub soon. So
and you're going to play here in Studio 2B a little bit later on. All right, we'll save your voice. Yep. You've got a long day ahead of you. Yeah. Thank you for all of this.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Nice. If you want to see this talented individual and the rest of the cast, Tammy Faye is playing at the Palace Theater. Go to TammyFayeBroadway.com for tickets and information.